What is going on, everybody? Thursday, March 3rd, 7-game NBA slate. I'm joined by my good friend, Tenacious, D. Jones, Stenny D, Tenny D. David, how's it going? I know we got a bit of news before we hopped on, but how are you today? How's the internet holding up?
It usually starts slow and then starts getting better. So I don't know what's wrong with that here. I did see that my dog was. I saw my dog was like digging a hole outside earlier today, and there was a wire in the hole that was supposed to be in the ground, but I don't know what happened, man. Hopefully it's
interesting.
It's good. Yeah.
Well, hopefully that doesn't screw up anything midstream with the dog just at the forefront of everything. But we have 7 games, a lot of news for a 7-game slate right now. We can dive right into it with some news that we're waiting on. The only game that locks at 7 p.m. is the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Chicago Bulls in Atlanta. Bulls right now 1.5-point road favorites, 231-point total. Trae Young, questionable, listed as a game time decision, was going through warm-ups. And from what you said, it looked pretty good. So talk to me about what you're doing with this team, both if Trae Young is in and if Trae Young's out.
All right. So my phone's like blowing up right now. Jimmy Butler just got ruled out.
Oh yeah, Underdog's coming in on my phone too.
PJ Tucker got ruled out, which isn't insignificant.
Caleb Martin's available to play. Okay, so that's pertinent. Okay.
All right.
It's gonna be some.
So
this slate just won't stop right now.
God, man, it's been getting crazy. I mean, that just really like bumps up Bam for me like a ton. So we'll figure that out. But anyways, this game. So Trae Young's going through his normal pregame routine. I didn't think he was gonna play. I mean, he did play through the ankle after spraining it last game, but it just, I don't know. He didn't go through pregame warmups earlier this afternoon. They called up Sharif Cooper, who I thought that was kind of a signal that he wasn't going to be available. So I had a ton of DeLon Wright. Look, it looks like he's going to play now. It's not 100%. He's out there taking shots. I saw a video. I think now he probably plays. But we do get that news first, which is good or bad, depending on however you want to look at it. If Trae Young's out, I'm playing just a ton of DeLon Wright. Like he's min price, excellent spot, going up against Chicago, been second worst against the point guard over the last 2 weeks. You would play a lot of him, but I don't think we're going to have that opportunity anymore. And that also messes me up on like all these cheap Hawks value guys like Bogdanovich and Gallinari, who still, Gallinari's still going to get pretty significant minutes. He should still touch 30 because Onyeka Okongwu is not going to be out there. And we've seen them like, not that Gallinari plays like center, but they're willing to give him some minutes as a big down there. We need the Trae news. I guess my favorite value is still going to be Gallinari if it's not Clint Capella. So we got to talk about Clint Capella too. So he's going up against Vucevic, who you would think is going to be a tough matchup for him. If you look at what Vuce has done lately, and you have to look at what Capella has done lately because he's been down. But Vuce hasn't been as good of a defender lately. He's given, or the Bulls as a whole have given up almost 15.5 boards per game, almost 25 real points per game, 5.42 assists, which is second best in the league per game. Not that Capella's a big assist guy, but he's still underpriced in my opinion. I know he's busted a few times. Like last game he busted, wasn't on him there. The game before he had a good game, we were on him there. Game before that it was a blowout. He got limited minutes. Game before that it was a tough matchup against the Cavs. I think he's fine at the price. I like him as a value center today. And I put in the article too, that doesn't mean there's not other good center values really out there that can exceed their value at a higher rate than Capella can. But I still think Capella gets there. So I'm going to go with him with no backup center aside from Gorgie Jang.
Yeah, I like Capella a lot, especially for that 5.9 price. The only issue is now you have that wrinkle with Bam Adebayo being center only. Do you want to eat your center spot with that? Because not only are there a lot of good center options, but I've noticed there's a lot of good point guard only options on DraftKings, which makes your builds much more restrictive than a normal slate. I don't really have much interest in the Chicago side at all. It's not really because I don't think Atlanta's a good matchup, because they have been this year. It's just the nature of the slate. Everyone's priced appropriately. I think if I'm going to take a shot on anybody, it would be Zach LaVine for a flat 8K. But his ceiling has been so capped by this run that DeMar DeRozan's been on, where it's really hard for me to justify it over a guy like, if you're looking at just guard, over a guy like a De'Aaron Fox for more money. If you want to get all the way up to DeJounte Murray, I know he's one of Zach's 310s on the slate. I just think you can better allocate your money elsewhere. And then for the Hawks, like you said, contingent on the Trae news, DeLon Wright would become a staple in just about everyone's lineups. But if Trae's in, that does eliminate a good chunk of value from the slate. Some of the dual position eligible value, I think if Trae's in, I still like DeAndre Hunter for 4-5. Playing a ton of minutes without John Collins. He is pretty hit or miss. But, we saw the other game, like 2 games ago, he only shot 4 of 11, had nearly 28 fantasy points in 38 minutes. At 4-5, that's more than enough. So I like DeAndre Hunter if Trae's in the most of these values. I think you can get away with some Gorgie Jang. I just don't know, especially with Bam now on this slate, if I want to burn a center spot on a backup big just because Onyeka Okongwu's out. So I'm not going to argue with someone if they want to get exposure in a 150 and a 20 max build. But single lineup, I definitely don't. Definitely do not recommend going Gorgie Jang. So if Trae Young's out, let's take DeLon Wright out of the conversation because I feel like he'd be number one. How would you prioritize Bogdan, Hunter, Herter, Gallinari? Like those 4 wings, how would you prioritize them?
I would probably give it to Gallinari. He's going to get just as many minutes as the rest of them. He's cheap. I think Hunter might be a little bit cheaper, but I wouldn't watch Hunter play like in person a couple days ago. And he just was not that impressed. Yeah, he'll be on the Trae's in. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I still think Gallinari's fine at the price. I still like Capella maybe more so with Trae in.
100%.
Are we playing would you go to Trae? No one's gonna be on him today. It's still the phenomenal matchup that I talked about with
you hit it. Without Lonzo and Caruso, this team's been really bad defensively, especially on the perimeter. I love Trae Young here, but especially I assume he sees a lot of Ayo Dosunmu again, who completely shut him down last game, but Trae's not really a matchup dependent player. So I think if that's going to suppress ownership, that just makes more of a justification to play Trae. I won't prioritize him over a DeJounte Murray. I still prefer De'Aaron Fox for less money than Trae Young. I think I would, but I think I would prefer. Who would you prefer between Trae and Ja Morant? That's tough for me. I think I lean Trae for $200 more.
I would probably lean Trae too, just because of the matchup. I mean, we saw Trae go up against Boston. It was the game that he sprained his ankle. He didn't exceed value, and Boston's just got such a good defense. So you might as well go the opposite direction. I probably still don't roster Trae and just hope it's not that day, where he drops more than the other top price point guards. But I don't think he's going to beat Murray and Luka and Ja. He's not beating all of them. So I'll fade him.
Yeah, I agree. So anything else from this game? Or are we going to move on to Miami and Brooklyn?
I mean, if you want to get on the Chicago side, it's a good matchup against Atlanta for sure. You can say Zach LaVine is underpriced. Yeah. DeMar DeRozan game might stay closer now. He just got voted the player of the East the last month. His price is high though, and you probably aren't playing him over Jason Tatum, and that's where the issue kind of gets. Vucevic, kind of sneaky, I think, but I don't have him ranked up in my top 3 center. So prices all seem about right, except for Zach LaVine is a little bit too cheap.
Yeah, I agree. So let's move on to Miami and Brooklyn. We just got news: Jimmy Butler out, PJ Tucker out, Caleb Martin available to play, and Max Strus 3,100 available to play. Brooklyn right now 1.5 point home favorites, 222.5 total. Kevin Durant, no minutes limit today. No hard minutes limit, they said.
Yeah.
I really like him as a tournament play. Like if you are in the Millie or if you're in the 555, whatever the tournament is today, I think he's a good dark side. Don't think people are going to get there, but there is a lot of inherent risk with Kevin Durant. I don't know what you can get his props at right now, but I have 2 units on his over 22.5 points. That prop is just way too low. So if you guys want some free bets, just hammer a lot of the overs on Kevin Durant is what I recommend. But talk to me about, before we go to Miami, because there's probably going to be more discussion there, what are you doing with Brooklyn, if anything?
Not a lot. It's a terribly difficult team to break down. You've got Durant back. We know when one of the stars are there, like everyone else just takes a back seat. You have to get extremely lucky, and the minutes are split up more now. No one's going to have a large usage outside of Durant. And Durant, I mean, his matchup just got incrementally better with no Jimmy Butler on the other side who was going to be beating him. So now there's absolutely no one that can stop Kevin Durant. He doesn't have a hard minutes limit. More people are going to be on Tatum. They're priced about the same. Kevin Durant just became a even better play, in my opinion. And it's really the only guy that I'm considering from Brooklyn. We've got Miami value we're about to talk about. We have some Atlanta value. We've got value on the Celtic side if you're looking at the guards. I don't think you got to go with someone on Brooklyn.
Yeah, I agree. So let's look at Miami. Jimmy Butler out. Kyle Lowry we already know is out. PJ Tucker now. That's 3 starters. So Gabe Vincent will probably still fill in for Kyle Lowry. I still think they're going to take Tyler Hero off the bench. I would assume we see I assume we see Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, Bam, and maybe Caleb Martin at the 4.
Maybe.
It's going to be a really interesting lineup because the thing is Brooklyn isn't a team that runs very big. So there is some very good value on this team. Like I think Tyler Hero at 6'3" is one of my favorite plays now on DraftKings.
Mm-hmm.
But then you look at like Max Strus 3-1, Caleb Martin 3-3, Duncan Robinson, my least favorite of those 3, 3-6. How are you prioritizing these very, very cheap Miami Heat guys? I think off the bat, Caleb Martin might be my favorite.
I'm pulling up the Caleb Martin splits now because this news came out when we were on the show, so I haven't had a chance to dive into it. When Jimmy Butler's out, Caleb Martin is getting about another 4 minutes. Usage goes up a couple points. DK points go up about 4 points, which all looks fine. All looks fine at the price.
Yeah.
Do we need to look at Tyler Hero?
Pull up Tyler Hero and add Kyle Lowry out too. Like Gabe Vincent, I know averages about 14 points a game. Gabe Vincent's been shooting a lot, but like this is Tyler Hero's offense today. I think Bam's a good play. My issue with Bam is his 8.6 price tag. He doesn't have that power forward eligibility anymore. It's hard to justify when we talked about Clint Capella for 5'9". I love Jakob Poeltl for 7'4". Like I prioritize those 2 over Bam, especially because I like a lot of these other Miami pieces. I don't want to go overboard on Miami. I think I prefer Caleb Martin of the cheap ones. Max Strus is also one that I wouldn't mind just because we've seen how hot he can get, and when they need offense, that's who they go to. Let's see. I just want to make sure. So Max Strus played yesterday. Okay. Played 22 minutes yesterday. I know he was out for a couple or dealing with not out with a shoulder sprain. He seems fine. With their injury report, if 25 minutes is in the cards, I don't know what's going to happen. So I think Max Strus and Caleb Martin are good together. Would you set any type of rule to limit Heat exposure of like any type of player combinations, not maxing out past 2 Heat players per lineup? What would you do with that?
Out of all those guards, it looks like Max Strus, for whatever the reasons were during those games, I'm not looking at the individual games, got a little bit more, had a little bit more production, but that's not really going to be relative for today. I would do what you're saying about limit the guards. Like, so obviously we still need to see, what the starting lineup's going to be, but I probably don't want more than like one of Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, or Caleb Martin per team. Seems like a pretty good rule. I don't mind if you get one of them in there with Tyler Hero because we know he's going to play a lot of minutes, which may or may not be off the bench. Probably off the bench. They like him off the bench. But Gabe Vincent now too. I mean, you got to have a ton of interest in Gabe Vincent. I mean, he's going to continue to start at the point guard. It's going to be him and him and Bam mostly.
It's going to be him, and then when Tyler Hero comes in, he'll probably play point guard.
Yeah.
But my only issue with Gabe Vincent, it's not even an issue with Gabe Vincent, just the slate. Like, he's point guard only. DeJounte Murray point guard only. Malachi Flynn point guard only. Trae Young point guard only. DeJounte Murray point guard only. De'Aaron Fox point guard only. Like,
yeah.
You have to make some decisions here. So how would you prioritize, let's say, Malachi Flynn versus Gabe Vincent?
Well, I don't like how much Malachi Flynn's salary went up for sure. I think he's going to have a hard time exceeding value there. So I'm not even playing Malachi Flynn today. I think he's too expensive.
What is he on FanDuel? Do you know?
Yeah, I can find out real quick. What's he on DraftKings?
42.
Okay, so no, that's good. He went up to like 57 or something on FanDuel. So good call out. Yeah. So yeah, over on DraftKings, still good. Good save. I would play. Who's it between Vincent or Flynn?
Yeah, and Zach just hit my point. I prefer Flynn in a vacuum of choosing one just because he has 40+ minute upside. He played 42 minutes last slate. Played 34 in his first start. Yeah, I think Gabe Vincent has a pretty high ceiling in terms of minutes, but I don't like. We know how many minutes these Toronto guys play. I lean Malachi Flynn. I want 2 Raptors in my lineup. We'll obviously get to that later.
But Flynn is 62 on FanDuel.
Holy shit, that's expensive.
Yeah, I'm not. So don't play him over there. But DraftKings good, and I agree with the point too about that he's got more solid minutes for sure. So yep, with you.
So I think so. Let's looking at Zach's rankings right now. He has Gabe Vincent as a 10. Malachi Flynn also was a 10 for its worth. He has Bam as a 9. Tyler Hero as a 9. Max Strus as a 9. Let me see if he even where he put Caleb Martin. He has Caleb Martin as an 8. So all of these guys are incredibly viable. So I think I would prioritize them. The Heat guys, I think I prioritize them: Tyler Hero, Max Strus, Caleb Martin, Bam. In those based on roster construction. How would you prioritize these Miami guys?
Probably Bam number 1 for me, and then I would go Tyler Hero, Gabe Vincent, and then whoever else draws the start. I mean, yeah, I think that it's the only thing that I'm indifferent on is who's going to start next to all these guys. So Bam's going to score the most points. Tyler Hero's got plenty of minutes coming his way. Same for Gabe Vincent, I would think. None of them got great minutes last night. It was a weird game for them. And then whoever else starts, which we just have to wait on. So that's how I do it. I don't want who's playing next to Tyler Hero off the bench.
I would assume. I don't know who that because I'm looking at it now. I'm trying to debate if it's going to be one of Max Strus or Caleb Martin, but I think both could start. So let me look at their depth chart quickly.
What about PJ Tucker being out? It is.
I don't think that does a ton. Because the thing is, Yurt doesn't play the 4.
Yeah, that's what.
But they could slide Bam to the 4 a little bit. We've seen them do that in years past. I think it could help Yurt a little bit. I don't think it's enough to make him someone I want to roster. Someone said, "Let's go Boucher smash."
I don't know about that. I thought about it. I mean, but I know Thad Young is out, but there's still Kim Birch is also back, and he's going to draw the start. And then you also have Precious Achua, and then you have
Precious
Boucher.
there.
So I thought about it.
Yeah, so did I. I mean, I'm staring at my lineup right now, and I need 2 guys that are 3-1, and I do not love that, but I'm going to see if I can make it work. Let's move on to Boston and Memphis right now. Boston without Jaylen Brown. I forgot hurt last game. 2.5-point home favorites. You want another bet? I took Memphis money line as an underdog at plus 120. 223.5-point total. What do you do with Jason Tatum? Because he's shaping up to be one of the most popular spend ups on the slate.
Yeah, and I get it for sure. I mean, no Jaylen Brown. You're gonna everyone is gonna just assume like the usage spikes a ton, which it really doesn't. But that doesn't because his usage is so high, anyways, right? It goes up like 2.32% for almost 35% usage, which is awesome. His price on FanDuel 94, on DK he's 10. You still gotta like him a lot here, right? So you're trying to make a choice. Are you going like Kevin Durant, DeMar DeRozan, Jason Tatum? And when I wrote the article, it's Jason Tatum. But him and Kevin Durant, man, that's super close for me. If you can get them both, you're locking in 90, 100 points, which would be a good thing. But Jason Tatum, he's still going to be my favorite play from this game. But I also like Marcus Smart a lot. So I've heard some people like on Smart. I've heard him off Smart. This is why you shouldn't play him. This is why you should play him. He's got not a high usage when Brown's out. It's like around 17%. But he contributes across the board, right? Stocks, rebounds, assists, points. The opponent's giving up the second most steals. I think it's the second most steals in the league over the last 2 weeks, and he has the fifth most steal in the NBA at 1.84 per game. So if he can get like 3 steals for 9 points, that'd be excellent, which he certainly could do. And I mean, look, you don't have White starting next to him. You've got Nesmith, whoever, starting next to him. I think Smart, Tatum, and then the bigs, all good plays. But if I have to choose White or Smart, I would choose Smart.
Yeah, I agree. I do. This makes me like Al Horford a bit too. One of these guys is out. He always picks up a lot of peripherals. He is underpriced still. He's he's just past 6K, 6'1". I think he operates as a pretty strong pivot off of Clint Capella in a game where they'll probably need him on the court a lot to counter Steven Adams. But I also don't like playing centers against Steven Adams. It's not really especially ones that aren't really offensive oriented. You might just be walled off quite a bit. I don't have any interest in Aaron Nesmith starting. I don't really have any interest in any of these other Boston guys like Grant Williams. I'm good on. What about the Memphis side? Are you interested in John Morant? Jaren Jackson's pretty cheap on DraftKings at 6'2". What are you doing in Memphis?
I don't like playing guys against Boston. So I don't know. I think Ja probably has not his best game. That's who they're going to zone in on his jaw. And like, he's coming off like an excellent like highlight reel of his last game. He's amazing. I get that. He can beat any matchup. I would say that too. It looks like at this point anyways. But not super high on him. I'd rather have DeJounte Murray or I'd rather have Luka, and Ja's priced right in between. So I'm not going to have a lot of Ja tonight. Just because of the defense, man. And I'm not interested in like Bane. People are like kind of getting on Bane today.
I'm okay on Bane.
Not really there. I don't care about the price. It's just not great. Everyone's going up against a tough defense here. I thought about Jaren Jackson Jr., but it does seem like the kind of matchup that he can draw plenty of fouls, or they can draw plenty of fouls off him, which would like boost up Clark or Slow-Mo off the bench. Not super high on Memphis guys, man.
I think if anyone, Slow-Mo is my preference. He is phased back into this rotation for 4-4. The only issue now is so much elite value has opened up where I don't think you need to take that risk with 22 minutes. You can get you go DeAndre Hunter even for $100 more. You're locking in 15 more minutes of playing time. So I'm good to move on if you don't have anyone else from this game.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, besides the Celtics, I think I have 2 Celtics in every lineup. That's how I'm kind of forcing myself to build right now.
Yeah. So looking at the next game, which is Detroit and Toronto, Fred VanVleet is out. Was there another Raptor that was ruled out, or am I missing something? OG is out.
OG and Thad.
And Thad. Okay. So Raptors 8-point home favorites against the Pistons. I believe this is the Raptors' 5th game in 6 days. It's either 4-5 or 5-6. But Malachi Flynn is 4,200 on DraftKings. Scotty Barnes is still 6,400. Gary Trent 6'7". Pascal Siakam's up there. What are you doing with this Raptors team, and how are you prioritizing them?
Yeah, you've got to play one of them. Like I said earlier, the pricing on DK is better for Flynn, so you can play him over there. Don't touch him over on a FanDuel. I'm trying to pull up my little here it is, my graph about going up in Detroit. So Detroit against the small forward. Yeah, I wrote this up for Scotty Barnes. So Scotty Barnes probably going to be my favorite play, then Trent after that. But Detroit's allowing 3rd most fantasy points on the slate, behind Atlanta and the Nets, who didn't have Kevin Durant over the past 2 weeks, allowing 26.1 real points per game to the position, which is worse than the league the last 2 weeks. So they're allowing the most scoring in the league to Scotty Barnes' position the last 2 weeks, and Scotty Barnes has been hot as shit the past 2 games, but it has been the same matchup up against the Nets. I want to say minutes secure, usage secure. Scotty Barnes is going to be my favorite player there, still underpriced.
Yeah, if there's anyone on this team that's guaranteed for almost 40 minutes, it's Scotty Barnes, and he's playing really well. Scotty Barnes is also he's my second favorite behind Malachi Flynn, who I consider a single entry just a stone cold lock. That's a stand I'm taking. It's probably going to be a popular stand, but I really want both him and Scotty Barnes in my lineup. I'm trying to work with it right now to get everyone I want, and it's just fucking impossible. But I think this is a game where people hop off of Gary Trent because of position. The fact that, I mean, he had 40 plus last game, but it wasn't like a blow up. 17 shots in 39 minutes last game. He only made 6 shots. If he goes 10 for 17, he has 50 plus fantasy points. So I think there's a lot of merit to Gary Trent with that guard forward eligibility there. Outside of those two, like, I don't hate Pascal Siakam for 9-2, but when he doesn't start at the 5, it's a lot harder to justify, especially on a slate with so many awesome spend up options. Are you interested in Kem Birch, Precious Achua, or Chris Boucher with not only OG but Thad also out?
No, I mean, if I was going to take a shot on one, it'd be Chris Boucher, I guess. But you just named 3 guys that can play the center. Like, they're still not like thin, even though that Thad Young's out. So I'm not really that interested, man. I understand one of them can exceed value and have a good game. I just don't need Boucher. If Boucher just doesn't go out there and drop like 38 or something, which I don't expect because he's not going to score over 2 points per minute, and he's not going to get, he's probably not getting 20 minutes. Maybe he does. Just don't score 2 points per minute and should be good, even though that would be great at his price at like 3,500. I think people might be flocking to that, and it's just one of those stands going to take because they're not done at the position.
I don't disagree with you. So let's flip to the Detroit side. I don't ever target guys. I shouldn't say I don't like targeting guys against Toronto. They do have 2 of their better defenders out. Like I said, 5th game in 6 days. Any interest in this team? Like, Kate Cunningham's still pretty reasonable.
I don't have a lot of Cade, but his price got up a little higher than I like it over on FanDuel. No, I don't have interest in any of these Detroit guys, honestly.
Yeah. I don't either. So we're cruising along. We have 3 games left, half hour. So we go to the next games. Let me double check where we are at on the slate right now. And you know what? Yeah, we'll go. There's two 8:30 games. We'll go to Sacramento and San Antonio. 244 point total. 6.5 point home favorites are the Spurs. We have a revenge spot. We have Trey Lyles revenge against the San Antonio Spurs. I knew that would get your ego or your the light bulb in your head going. So this is going to be the most maybe not anymore, but should be the most popular game on the slate. Where are you starting here? Because if I'm looking at Jakob Poeltl, DeJounte Murray, Domantas Sabonis, and De'Aaron Fox, I want at least 2 of those 4 in my lineup.
Really? Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to target this game for sure, right? It's got the highest total on the board by over 20 points, I want to say, aside from the Chicago-Atlanta game. It's got a 242 total in this game. You've got the Spurs favored by 6. DeJounte Murray should be one of the high scoring players, I would think, on the slate going up against the Sacramento team who had to travel last night, not too far, or this morning. I don't know how they do that. Probably this morning from New Orleans over to San Antonio. I would take Murray, number 1 overall highest scoring point guard on the slate. I think.
Not going to argue there.
I think.
Who would you put number 2? For point guard, Trey?
Yeah, Luka. So I'm considering if if it's going to be Luka or Murray. But Murray's a little bit less expensive. So, I mean, I think you can lock him in for, damn near close to 50, man. Like the last game? Because his prices got up. So he hasn't been on like a ton of GPP winning teams lately. Up against Memphis, a little out of hand. The game against Washington, maybe I'm wrong here. The game against Washington went to overtime or double overtime. It was 157 to 153, and he just dropped a 60 burger, which if you see 157 to 153, you think he'd get more. But I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like, he still got tremendous upside. What kind of score do you project from DeJounte Murray tonight?
I put him at like 64, probably. I think there's very live for a triple-double here. I think he's going to be – he is in contention for the highest score on the slate. This is just such a healthy game environment, really, for both sides. Like, flipping over to the other side with De'Aaron Fox, since Tyrese Halliburton was traded, De'Aaron Fox is averaging 26.8 points, 5.8 assists, and 4.1 rebounds per game. He's seen almost a 10-touch increase per game. He's getting 86 touches a game, and also leading the Kings with 37.5 minutes per game. There is, the belief, and like DeJounte Murray is a very good defender, but with how many switches there are and stuff in the NBA, individual defensive matchups don't matter as much in the regular season. It kind of shows. The Spurs using FTN's advanced DVP tool, 25th against crafty finishers, and 28th against both primary ball handlers and scorers. Those are all three of De'Aaron Fox's archetypes. So he, at 8.8, is a stone cold. Like, he is the max Metz play of the day. It's De'Aaron Fox on this slate. And I really wanted it to be DeJounte Murray, but I took the I'll have both in my single entry, but I took the lower owned one for my stand. Mm-hmm.
God,
I'm
man,
all over De'Aaron Fox. I'm all over both point guards in this game.
I was all over De'Aaron Fox last game, and it blew up in my face. He still got 37 minutes, scored like 29 fantasy points. Something just terrible. I mean, I'm kind of scared just from last night, just to
I don't blame you.
But no, yeah, sorry everyone, but I mean, I have some in there. I'm trying to force at least one player from this game into every lineup, but you said you're going to have 2 to 4.
Yep. Jakob Poeltl is another one I really want. I love Jakob Poeltl on this slate. Like, the Kings just get destroyed by centers, and he's playing out of his mind. He's like, there's no Drew Eubanks, no Thad Young. He's finally getting the minutes, which like a Yusuf Nurkic is, and like a Jared Allen before this season. Like, that's all you need from some of these guys, and he's finally getting it, averaging over 32 a game since the trade deadline. 3 straight double-doubles, 2 mammoth double-doubles. I think this, like, Domantas Sabonis can't defend a fucking broomstick, so I think Jakob Poeltl is going to have a very, very strong game on this slate.
Would you do Poeltl or Murray in every lineup?
If I'm running like 5, if I'm running like 10 lineups, you don't need to have at least one in each lineup. But if I'm running 5, I think I would.
Okay. Yep, that makes sense to me. I was looking even like a Keldon Johnson, who's pretty fairly priced.
He's fair. I think he's 5'6". That's a really nice price for Keldon Johnson. But that's one player I just never, ever, ever get right.
Yeah. He's pretty inconsistent, like, for sure. So I don't know. You can take a stab on him if you want to. I mean, he's in a great game environment. So, but it's really like all the points are going to come from like the studs, you would think, for the most part in this game, and then maybe one guy can rip something off, like a Keldon Johnson, or who else am I thinking of? Like Trey Lyles or something. And right when that game started last night, I was thinking to myself, I looked at the schedule beforehand. I was like, he plays the Spurs tomorrow. Maybe they're saving the legs a little bit for the Spurs.
That's not a bad idea. I'm looking at like who else is down here by Trey Lyles, and there's really there's no sub 4K guys I would recommend playing on this team, on either team. I'm looking here. Yeah, it's the studs for me. I think Sabonis of the 3. If you're going to count Jakob Poeltl as a stud, I think Sabonis is the odd one out. Simply from a price and construction standpoint, I just can't see myself getting up that high at center. I don't think I go past Bam at center on this slate. But as of right now, my single entry has Poeltl, Fox, and DeJounte Murray in it right now. So I need this game. Like, I will be very happy if this game goes over the implied total on this slate. Has my core changed at all? My single entry core right now is Malachi Flynn, Tyler Hero, De'Aaron Fox, and DeJounte Murray. That's my single entry core right now. Jakob Poeltl is a one of this game I'm willing to drop if I need to. I might need to based on salary constraints. Anything else on this game? Like, do you have any interest in probably not like a Davion Mitchell? A Jeremy Lamb is still really cheap. Dante DiVincenzo, any of those cheap wings? Or do you think just because the value is elsewhere now, you don't really need to go there?
No, I'll just keep not playing Jeremy Lamb and be okay. And then as far as DiVincenzo, I think he got extra run last night because the game got out of hand. So I don't want to chase those points because I think his ownership will be up a little higher than I like. And you're still, you know more about DiVincenzo than I do. I mean, you watch every game he's played since he was a Milwaukee Buck.
There's a reason he was traded.
Yeah.
How else to put it?
Not really that interested. Nope.
Yeah, fair. So let's move on to the last 8:30 game before we head to the nightcap. It is Golden State and Dallas. Dallas is a home underdog, or home favorite, excuse me. Golden State on the road, 1.5 point underdog, 220 point total. So I know you talked about Luka a little bit. So why don't you talk about Luka and what you think of him on this slate?
I mean, it's just Luka. What do you want? Golden State's been worse against the guards, although not terrible against the guard, as in like league worst against the guards recently. I mean, it's Luka. He does everything for the team. Jalen Brunson got hot last game, which kind of limited what Luka needed to do. They didn't need Luka much in the second quarter because the Mavs were running away with it by 20, and it looked like he was going to get a rest. And the Lakers came back in. Luka got more minutes, but Brunson was hot. Dorian Finney-Smith was hot. The other Mavs. Dwight Powell had a good game. The other Mavs kind of took over for what Luka didn't have to do. He's just got a phenomenal ceiling, obviously, but you're paying for it. I would still rather have Murray over Luka, but if you do like a Murray Luka stack them both together, again, it's another situation where you're probably getting 100 points out of it. So I don't want to chase the Brunson points. I would be interested in Dwight Powell if Maxi Kleber was ruled out, because he would get a few more minutes, I would think. That'd even help Bullock. That'd help probably Dorian Finney-Smith. That'd probably help all of them a little bit, even though Kleber was coming off the bench, because Bullock's been drawing the start. So need the news on that. It's a later game. Top play, obviously, Luka, and I'm not going to chase Brunson. Probably not chasing Dorian Finney-Smith. Not chasing many of these Mavs. I'd limit it to like one Mav per team.
This is a game I just don't like. This is a much better game to watch as a basketball fan. Like Luka versus Steph. I just don't see a ton of appeal from a DFS standpoint on this slate. Like, I would definitely obviously want Luka and Steph exposure if you're MMEing, but with Klay Thompson back, I'm good on Andrew Wiggins. I think one that is interesting is Spencer Dinwiddie. He has come around a little bit. Minutes are still somewhat volatile for 5-6 price, but we know what his ceiling is. So I think if you want to get really different, Spencer Dinwiddie is a fine way to do that. It's just not one I recommend if you're like a 3 or 5 or even 10 max player. And then the only other guy that I actually don't mind at all in this game is Kavon Looney. Not going to be owned. He's 4-4, and Dallas obviously deploys Dwight Powell. They deploy Willie Cauley. They deploy bigger, more traditional centers. Without Draymond Green, you don't see a lot of small ball out of Golden State, which is why you've seen him have 26-plus minutes in 3 of 4. This matchup caters to him for 4-4. I think he's a long shot to double-double. But again, that's an MME dart more than anything else. Let's see. Jake in Discord is asking, not on show, any concern with Bam's minutes with the team resting so many guys?
Those don't correlate. So he's not watching the show. I don't. I would say no, because why would it? I mean, the only reason it would is because if it was a blowout. I mean,
yeah,
am I missing
and I don't
something in the question?
No, I think they're just. I mean, yeah. To Herb's point, they've played him in full minutes in previous situations like this. So I think if the game was out of hand, yeah, and I think it could with Atlanta with Trey healthy, but like Atlanta also hasn't been a team that blows people out a ton. Or excuse me,
unless
Brooklyn.
It's the Raptors on Friday night.
Yeah, like Brooklyn is one team that like Kevin Durant's back, but nobody else is. So Kevin Durant goes out, plays 35 minutes, drops 50, maybe, but that's obviously a very, very low end outcome. So for you, no Andrew Wiggins, no Jordan Poole, no Klay Thompson, none of those guys.
Not Poole, no, not Wiggins. Klay, I think his price is still too cheap, and he's going to hit one of these days. But Dallas has a good defense too. Seth, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play Steph because I'd rather play Murray up there. I'd rather play Luka, I think. So overall, not real high on the game. Can't lie.
Yeah, I can't argue that. So let's go to the nightcap. This game probably not going to carry much ownership at all. Battle of Los Angeles Clippers and the washed up Lakers. Clippers sitting as the 2.5-point home favorites. Actually, 1-point home favorites. 220-point total. Let's start with the Lakers. Anthony Davis obviously still out. Do you have interest in LeBron if he starts at center?
LeBron looked disengaged the last game, but that's not going to say it's going to hold over to this game. I don't know that they're going to roll out the same starting lineup. It could easily be Dwight Howard starting again. I mean, they just rolled out that lineup because of the match they were facing. Either way, you'd still get some LeBron minutes at the 5, I would think. It doesn't matter. I don't have any LeBron James, man. I'd rather play. He just looks like he's on that Russell Wilson train, going the wrong way recently, just from watching him. Better spend ups at the forward position. I don't have any LeBron. Monk might get started again. He played like 37, 38 minutes. You can definitely go back to him. I would like that a lot. If Malik Monk started, he would be a great value going against the Clippers, who've been bad against the guards. And I'm going to play some Russell Westbrook again. He got 40, although he just shot terrible again. Last game was still able to muster up 40 points. So if he can start making his layups and one of those 7 3-pointers that he tries to heave up, that they leave him wide open for, mind you, then he'd be a good enough play at $7,000. But yeah, I'd rank it Monk if he starts number 1, Westbrook after that. Probably not playing LeBron. Probably not playing anyone else.
Yeah. I think we see Malik Monk start again if LeBron starts at the 5. I'm trying to figure out if LeBron's going to start at the 5, though.
I don't know.
If they start Dwight, I will have interest in both Dwight and Ivica Zubac. But if LeBron starts at the 5, that kind of eliminates both of them, because we saw last time these two teams played, Zubac played 18 minutes. Granted, there was foul trouble, but with LeBron sliding over the 5 so much, it's a really bad mismatch. So I think that would be my contingency with both Malik or anyone from this game, really. Like Malik Monk would be my favorite if he starts, but
yeah,
we're not going to get that news until after just about every other game locks. I think this game will probably be the lowest owned on the slate because there also wasn't breaking news that shifts like the value of the players in this game. And I have no exposure to this game in my single entry, so I'm okay passing on it. I think Reggie Jackson in a tournament is fine given his ceiling, but that is about it. So we have about 15 minutes. Go to the Discord.
I think Zubac is a good play too on the other side. Playing his old team in the Staples Center. Lakers are on national TV again. Just want everyone to notice that. And they're one of the worst teams in the league. But it's the Lakers. I get it. It's LeBron James. But it's too much, man. There's way better games that are happening tonight than the Lakers game. But it is the latest game, and I guess you got to jam one in there at the back. Which also might have a lot to do. I mean, it's always a West Coast game. That's the second game, but they could push the Warriors back or something.
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers are a team that, like, they're still on so many nationally televised games. They probably don't want to be on national TV at this point right now with how bad they're playing, chirping at their own fans. It's an ugly scene right now in Los Angeles. So let's start getting into questions here. We have one YouTube question. I don't know when it came in. Anyone that you guys can recommend in the forward spot for 4,400 or under? Right now, I have Dante DiVincenzo. I mean, it kind of depends who you are already playing, because obviously then like a Max Strus, a Caleb Martin comes into play. I don't hate Dante. I actually like Jeremy Lamb more than Dante, but I just, that's a situation I would just prefer to avoid, in all honesty. I don't want to avoid that.
I can't get the DK pricing to load, so we're gonna have to rely on what you've got over there. Or I'd look at maybe one of the Miami values, but I don't know if that's gonna line up.
I think the Miami values would be the one. Like, I'm looking who else. Like, Brandon Clark at 4.3 is interesting, but his playing time is scaled back quite a bit. Chris Boucher, I know people are on. Trey Lyles there. I think Trey Lyles would probably be my favorite if you are still listening. So let's head over to the Discord for questions if I can get my.
I'm getting a ton of DeJounte Murray because I'm rerunning all of my lineups now. And my internet so shit that it takes 5 minutes for it to happen. But I'm getting a ton of DeJounte Murray. I'm getting a ton of Gabe Vincent. I'm getting more of him than I want. I have a ton of Scotty Barnes. Getting too many of these Atlanta guys still. But like Tatum, obviously, I have a ton.
I have two Atlanta guys in my single entry. I have Clint Capella, then one of Kevin Huerter or DeAndre Hunter, whoever I really want to fit. But I'm
worried about Huerter now. See, that's one of the guys I'm getting. I'm definitely worried about Huerter now.
Zach has both Huerter and Hunter as 8s. Let me look at look at the projections on the Opto right now.
Those are the two guys I'm getting a ton of. Is Huerter and Hunter. I mean, the price definitely makes
it does. Yeah,
Hunter.
They're just so volatile. Let's see here. What'd you say?
I mean, I was just watching him play the other night, man. We were sitting right there, and I was just like, God, this guy looks like better on TV. He is not good.
So DeAndre Hunter, Projected for 18 point. This is DraftKings. 18.75% ownership. 24 DK points. That's roughly 5.3x. Kevin Huerter projecting for 8.7% ownership. 22.8%. 22.8 DK points, and that is good for just under 5x. I think their ceilings are pretty comparable. I think that I want to. Oh God, I don't know who has a lower floor because they play so. I think DeAndre Hunter's floor is a little bit lower, but the minutes are higher for DeAndre. It's a literal toss up in my opinion.
I mean, I think I would rather play one like try and get lucky with one of the Heat guys. Like if Caleb Martin starts or something like that. I'd play Gabe.
Yeah, we don't have Heat starting lineup either. It's a good call. So let's before we get into questions, we've got 65 people watching on YouTube alone, only 14 likes. Let's get the likes up. If you have not joined FTN Daily, use promo code FTNTV to get 15% off of every package for every month, not just the first month of the package. And join us and be a part of where we're answering these questions in the Discord. So going to the questions, last man in, $6,600 for utility on DraftKings. I have the pricing in front of me. Brunson, Zubats, Smart, Hero, or Capella.
So those are good choices.
Capella's going to be the high. Like I'm going to pull up the ownership projections. Capella right now is going to be the highest of those guys.
Smart, Zubac, Capella.
Oh, Hero. Excuse me. Hero's projecting for 40% right now. Holy shit.
Damn. See, those are all players that I put. I didn't put Hero in there because we didn't have Jimmy Butler news, even though it doesn't matter too much for him. Probably. For some reason, I want to say Zubac, but I can't bring myself to do it. I'm
a little wary on Zubac because if LeBron starts at center, he could very well see 18 minutes like he did last game or last time against the Lakers.
I think for me, like as far as raw points now, it's probably Hero.
Yeah,
after that, maybe
I think I go Hero
Capella,
than Capella. Yeah, I think I'm in lockstep with you on that.
It's tough. Those are all really close.
I know.
And if you want someone that's going to get rebounds that way, then you're going with Capella. That's not something Tyler Hero does, but he just shoots the ball so much, and he's pretty good. So
I think my order would go Hero, Capella, then Marcus Smart. I think is the order I would go.
That's probably how I do it too.
Brunson and Zubats. All right, so I sent that in the Discord. Let's double check. Dorian Finney-Smith and Al Horford, or Kavon Looney and Gary Trent. I think I would go the second one. I think Trent has the highest ceiling of all those guys, and I don't mind Kavon Looney, like I said.
Yeah.
At what point would you go with Aaron Nesmith over Caleb Martin or Max Strus? Like, how many Heat guys would you have to be in your lineup before making that change? I think if I already have 3 Heat, I would do that. But it's about 10 times out of 10 in a vacuum that I'm choosing either of those Heat guys over Aaron Nesmith on this slate.
Yeah, I'm just not high on him at all.
No, I'm not either. We did get some starting lineup. Andre Drummond confirmed in. Both Hunter and Kevin Huerter are starting, so that doesn't really help you there. Let me find more questions. Tyler Hero or Harrison Barnes, or both on DraftKings. I have both right now, and they're actually projecting to be the number 2 and 4 highest owned players on the slate. Fuck. I mean, I guess I'll differentiate elsewhere. I love like they're both so secure right now. They're averaging over a fantasy point per minute, 35 plus minutes. It's really hard not to love them at those price points.
Yeah.
Someone said regarding Moses Guthrie tagged you and said regarding Miami value, another site has Caleb Martin's ownership projected way higher than Hunter or Huerter on Atlanta. Let's see what we have. We have Caleb Martin for 32%. We have both those other guys under 20.
I mean, I don't know. What guy do you think's the best player? At this point, you're already getting it's not like no one's on these guys.
Right.
So
I think I'm gonna go with what is his nickname? The Red Rifle, Red Rocket, whatever the fuck his name
It's
is.
not the Red
Rocket.
Rocket. It's it's Red Velvet.
Red Velvet. Yikes! I did not mean to call him. Okay. Sometimes I'm obsessed with Toronto player minutes. Yeah, that's the number one appeal with them. Zach Collins or Gorgeous Dong?
Neither.
Neither.
Yeah, neither.
Yeah, I think I'm on neither there too. I also hold on. Red Rifle / Rocket Andy Dalton. So that counts.
I'm getting. It's messing me up, man. I'm getting a ton of Caleb Martin now. I mean, that might be good, but I'm getting like 3. I don't want that much.
How much did you have?
I mean, it's giving me right now like, 50% is okay, but we still don't know he's starting. I mean, he probably does.
That's true.
Maybe not, probably even. But when we get the lineup, I can switch stuff out. So I'll just put him in there and swap out whatever he got starting.
I'm terrified how chalky my lineup's going to be, but I don't really care. They're good plays, so fuck it.
I mean, my top lineup right now is like Murray, Gabe Vincent. I've got Marcus Smart in there, Caleb Martin, Scotty Barnes, Bam, Robert Williams, and Clint Capella. And then a punt option. But I need more Tatum. I've got 50% of Tatum, which might do it. I've got 2 Celtics on each team. Tatum could fail. Or it's not even Tatum failing. It's just there's other cheaper options underneath him that could also exceed value.
Yeah, that's fair. Let me go back to the questions here.
I have a ton of Capella. It's scary.
Well, like Onyeka Okongwu was playing like 20 minutes a game. That's vacant. They're not going to give Gorgie Jang 20 minutes. Like This could get Capella like 5'9", a matchup where they will need him. Played 30 last game. Like this should get him to 30 minutes.
He's getting to 30 minutes. Yeah, that's happening. He's a good play. There, no doubt. It's just kind of, I don't know, for whatever reason, it's a little bit scary, but there's also no doubt he's a good play. So I actually shouldn't put that too much. Like, he's a good play.
Maxi Kleba is out.
Okay, well, I'll have to worry about that later. But Dwight Powell looked really good in the 20 minutes he got last game. But again, that was a game that everyone was doing it except for Luka against the Lakers, who were just total garbage. So I don't think he's the worst play. Like you could convince me to play like Powell over Lyles.
Yeah. I think that would be the pivot there. The only issue with Powell is the center only eligibility.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said Bam or Sabonis straight up.
Bam. For me,
it's Bam for me pretty easily. I don't dislike Sabonis, but the spot Bam's in for cheaper, at least on DraftKings, I don't know what their prices are on FanDuel. It is something I have a lot of intrigue in.
This internet's so bad. I'm going to be sitting here pulling a Joe Metz, trying to get everything.
I forgot about that last year.
I love that. Trying to get it uploaded.
I don't know why I said it's okay. It wasn't okay. I was pissed.
Oh, I know you were. Yeah, that was funny.
I was trying to laugh the pain away.
I don't know if people even know what we're talking about, but that was good.
No, I think I was missing like 37 entries that didn't upload or something. It was dead money in my 150.
It happened.
Someone said Gorgeous Jong or Kem Birch in a DK3 max.
Neither. I mean, like,
if I'm playing 3 lineups, that's a pretty big risk to me in a 3 max.
Like, can you not get Lyles? I'd rather have Lyles, or can you not get Powell? I'd rather Gallinari. I think he's more expensive. He's still a great play tonight, really, at the price. He's still going to get a ton of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, he will. Someone said Dwight Powell or Chris Boucher. Zach said Boucher over Powell.
Powell for me.
Powell, okay. If Zach, I don't know if he wants to lunch bet you or something. We're not going to lunch bet on fucking Dwight Powell. Never mind.
I don't lunch bet anyways. I'll do other bets.
I lost a jersey bet to you.
I lost one to you too.
But we're even on jerseys. Never mind.
Yeah,
that's right. Okay, we're in good standing right now. Let's see anything else in Discord.
I'm exporting. I mean, it's crunch time. I'm gonna get it, but I have like 50% Gallinari, and I'm not excited about that. Like
Strus and Pirtle or Capella and Monk?
Well, you don't know if Strus is starting, and you don't know if Monk is starting, so it's a hard question to answer.
I think I still lean one, but that's really close. I'm okay with both. That's one where I would the cop out answer, split your entries in half. That's what I would do.
I would probably go the Monk one. Unless you like, obviously you go the Monk one if you see that Strus isn't starting, which you have time to figure out there.
Yeah. Would you run Smart and Horford together? It's intriguing to me from an ownership perspective.
Yeah, sure. There's no problem in running two Celtics together.
I don't think they negatively correlate too badly.
None of the Celtics, aside from maybe Smart and White, which we don't have a large sample size on yet, have shown to correlate negatively. So it's usually like, two of the three or three of the five, but there's no like strong correlation. I was looking at that earlier today.
Yeah, I agree. Oh
my God. Okay.
I'm between
150 uploaded.
Oh, Horford and De'Aaron Fox or Gabe Vincent and Jason Tatum. Whew, that's tough. I have DeJounte Murray and Pirtle. Then I go Fox. Then I run it back with Fox. You have both of them.
Horford, Fox, and what's the other one?
Horford, Fox, or Gabe Vincent and Jason Tatum.
I'd probably go Vincent Tatum. That feels safer to me, but I've got scars from Fox last night.
That's fair. I'm on board with the complete game stack. Zach also went Vincent and Tatum. Jakob Poeltl or Gary Trent? Jakob Poeltl for me.
Yeah.
You agree? Okay.
Agreed. Trent is small forward eligible, right?
Yes. Shooting guard and small forward.
Yeah, okay.
Big Al and DeJounte or Gary Trent and Jason Tatum? Ooh, that's a tough one. I think as much as I love DeJounte, I think I lean Trent and Tatum. I think the ceiling's higher. Gary Trent is legit 50 DK point ceiling. I don't know if I think Big Al has that. But that is tough.
That one's tough, but I'm with you on that one.
Let me see if I get a third.
I have so much Gallinari. I don't want it. But that game's about to start, so I don't really have a choice.
I know. That's what I'm trying to figure out if I'm actually going to put one of these Hawks wings in my lineup or not. But then if I don't, I'm fading Clint Capella, who I don't know if I want to fade.
I don't think you want to fade Clint Capella.
I know. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, it's such a good spot for Clint Capella. If he busts, but you can't argue the spot's not like excellent for him.
Oh, it's elite. Gorgie Jenks center only. That sucks. Man, it's obviously slim pickings down by the minimum price, guys.
I mean, I'm rolling 55% Gallinari tonight. Pretty scary.
That's pretty high. That's pretty high.
It's what I'm getting. I mean, it's what I'm getting. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. I only have 50% Jason Tatum, 36% Gary Trent, 70% Scotty Barnes. It's probably not enough. But I had at least one of those. I hope I didn't do exactly one because that's sure is what it sounds like.
I wonder if wow, Zach, you didn't even rank Utah Watanabe. That's messed up, man. He won't get any time. We have no other questions. I think Josh just might have messaged me. Josh Frick. Play Strus. He said, yeah, I'm playing Strus. Josh, your lineup
was it
very good.
He's starting it? Like the Strus is starting?
The thing is, for me with Strus, I don't think it matters, to be honest. I think he'll get 25 minutes plus regardless.
I just don't want those minutes to be with Tyler Hero. That's kind of my thing.
Fair. I think that's fair. It's tough. I mean, some of them will be.
Sure.
It's just a matter of the majority of them. That's where it gets
I don't think he's a bad player. Actually, I kind of do. I'm not going to say that. I'm not really like. I'd rather have like Martin over Strus. I'd rather have Vincent over Strus. I'd probably rather have Duncan Robinson over Strus. So actually, yeah, I'm not on Strus.
I think I would also rather have Caleb Martin over Strus. I think there's more peripheral upside there, but it's 6 o'clock and looks like I'm playing Red Velvet. Didn't plan on that. Here we are.
Hey, Red Rocket.
Happened again. Yeah. Right.
But you know what's funny, man, is my wife said the same thing at the Hawks game when we were there.
Really?
Yeah, she was like Red Rocket or someone. I'm like, yeah, scream that. But we left in like the third quarter, man, because the game was so out of hand and we were trying to go to the varsity. Have you ever been to Atlanta?
I have.
Have you ever gone to the varsity? It's like our trash like food place outside the stadium. We were trying to go there to leave early, and it closed at like 8 o'clock on Friday night. I was pissed. It's very dangerous.
Interesting. That's weird. Well, we're at lock. Do you want to play the ownership game or no? I don't really care.
Clint Capella #1 in the first game, right? Gotta be.
Let's go. I'm gonna go look right now. Let's find out. Contest. Goran Dragic is starting
For Brooklyn against Miami.
Yeah. That's probably why. Because it's
That
against
is why.
Miami. That's you want to talk about revenge narrative. There you go. I don't think the thing is, like, I still prefer Malachi Flynn. I prefer all of those guys.
I'm not playing Goran Dragic. I mean, it's too late for me to try and convince myself to go play Goran Dragic. I don't think it's a great play. But he's probably cheap as shit, right? He's probably like $3,000.
Let me look.
People have been playing him anyways.
He's 3.9. He's like only $300 cheaper than Malachi Flynn, who I don't really think.
Yeah. Just play Flynn.
Yeah, even at obviously the heightened ownership, like, you just play Flynn.
Yeah. Some people might go to Dragic. I don't think it's a good play. We haven't seen him start on this team or play with Kevin Durant. I mean, there's a lot of question marks here. This is the revenge. This is the Nash revenge. Is Nash coaching tonight? He didn't coach the other night. He was out on COVID.
Yeah, Nash is coaching. So why is it Steve Nash revenge?
No, it's not. I just was wondering. Is that a subset?
I thought you said. Oh, you're talking about Dragic. I thought you were saying Steve Nash.
No. It was like I probably quit mid sentence that Steve Nash is probably letting him go do the.
So I guess where would you slide in Goran now? Because 3.9, like, you can't ignore the value. But for me, he's still behind Gabe Vincent. He's behind Malachi Flynn. But I think you can make a case if you have just your guard spot for Goran Dragic over both Caleb Martin and Max Strus. I feel like this is your wheelhouse. This is Goran Dragic revenge.
Yeah, but there's a lot of question marks here for me. Like, he hasn't been getting the minutes. I know he's been coming off the bench though, right? Let's see. 4-1 against Miami. After getting
this is obviously not the Miami defensive team that.
Yeah, he got booed last night in Toronto. Did you see that? The other revenge spot?
Well, I mean, he gave up on that team before he even joined them, so I don't blame them for booing him.
That's a good point. I don't know. I mean, if he gets 30 minutes, he's a great play, but I can't guarantee that. He's probably going to get like 24, 26 minutes max.
Yeah, I'd say 26 is probably accurate. Clint Capella came in just under 26% owned. The main Kevin Huerter 4%. I'll take that.
Red Rocket.
Yeah, that's getting tweeted if he goes like 8x.
I've got 96% Clint Capella, bro. So.
Wait, Kings limited minutes. What? Oh, okay. Then hold on. Coach Alvin Gentry is shortening the rotation of players after the team had travel issues flying into San Antonio.
From New Orleans, you could drive there from New Orleans,
but that means he's playing 8 or 9 guys. So,
what travel issue? What? Explain to me why that would mean you need to rest your guys if you had travel issues.
No, I don't know. But I'm still playing De'Aaron Fox, but
he got the most minutes last night on the Kings.
I know. Now I'm a little nervous.
I mean, if it's a close game, it's not like they're actually going to they're not going to be like, oh, we're down 4, but De'Aaron Fox just passed 32 minutes. The flight was delayed today.
Yeah, right.
So come
a
on.
Very strong point. Yeah, I'm gonna keep Fox and just go there. I think he means fewer minutes for the main guys, but it could also, like to Jake's point, it could be fewer minutes for the main guys, or it could be more minutes for the main guys with a condensed rotation. What does this mean?
It doesn't mean coach speak. It means if they're getting blown out, they're not going to let De'Aaron Fox finish the game like they did last night.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm still playing De'Aaron Fox. And breaking news before we head out: Joe Harris out for the season. That's a tough blow for the Nets.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I know.
He looks like Jack Harlow, doesn't he?
A little bit. Jack Harlow, the newest star of the remake of White Man Can't Jump, which I don't know why they're remaking it, but
that's going to be. I mean, I can't imagine that's going to be good. I don't know.
I don't think that's a movie that will never live up to the original.
Yeah, no, that movie's too good. There's no way they're going to beat that. I mean, you can't anything. You shouldn't remake any Wesley Snipes or Woody Harrelson movies, but they are remaking Blade, which is actually going to be better. But
yeah,
you get it.
True. Well, that'll do it for us. Someone said Yurt is starting.
Is that accurate?
Because I'm going to go. Josh Lloyd does this shit all the time, though. So I don't know.
Let's see. Because if that's the case, then I mean, I'm going to go jam him in.
If that's the case, I think Yurt is a phenomenal play.
Josh Lloyd tweeted that, huh?
Yep.
Let's see.
I'm waiting for underdog. I don't have any underdog yet.
If he's starting, then best value play on the board.
I think he would be one of them.
Let's see. One of them, yeah.
That makes me really have to move things around elsewhere if I want him.
Let's figure that out real quick. Miami.
Yeah, you're starting. That's what everyone's saying in Discord. I mean, I'm trying to confirm it right now on Twitter.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't see anything yet.
Yeah, he's starting. Vincent, Strus, Robinson, Adebayo, and Yurt. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go get a lot of Yurt. How much is he?
He's min price on DraftKings. That's tough because Capella locked.
He is
interesting.
I can't play him. I can't play him because I don't
think if I play him, I have to basically fade. Oh God, I would have to fade DeJounte. Fuck.
I can't. I can't play him because I have so much Capella. He's 3,500. I mean, he's gonna get.
I know. I'm not gonna. No, I'm not. Yeah, I. The thing is, Yurt's also starting next to Bam,
which wasn't the case earlier in the season. I don't think. No,
Bam was out. Bam and Devin were out. Yeah, I think if you already have like a Gorgie Jeng locked, but if you have like Kem Birch, pivot to Yurt over Birch. But I don't think this is something I would upend my lineup to kind of go after.
I do. I do. But what?
Do you?
I mean,
I think to Zach's point, it's very good that Max Strus in the starting lineup. This is the bigger hit to Caleb Martin now, in terms of minutes, and also like you said, sharing those shots with Tyler Hero is a little more difficult now.
Strus was he was the one dealing with the shoulder injury, right? Didn't Martin have something going on too?
He did. I can't remember what it was though.
How much Strus do I have? Let's see if it's like, would you swap out all your Martin with Strus?
Not all of it, no. I think I go 50-50.
What if you had 8% Strus and 50% Martin?
Probably. I would definitely change that.
Yeah.
I would probably go down to like
but I think we're probably gonna get close to the same minutes.
Yeah, I think so.
But I mean, Strus is not as good as Martin. I don't think. I mean, my opinion. Yeah.
My big thing was basically DeJounte and Yurt or Strus DeJounte and Strus or Yurt and KD, and I'm not going KD. So,
well, Sorry, but I'm thinking about this Heat situation too. Not only are you sharing the floor with Tyler Hero off the bench for some of the time, Duncan Robinson, I guess it means he's coming
Duncan
off.
Robinson's starting. He's starting.
Oh, he's starting? Okay.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Duncan Robinson than Strus, I think.
Really? I'd much rather have Strus
than Duncan Robinson.
Yeah. He can score on all three levels. Better than Duncan Robinson, kind of thing.
Yeah, Duncan Robinson's a real Joe Harris. You're right. Not big Duncan Robinson. Okay. This is tough. They all three could. It's not like, I mean, Jimmy Butler's out, which is obviously going to spread the usage around a ton, but again, not real thin at the position, even though Lowry's out too. But it's not like, okay, Strus is going to go play 40 minutes. Like him, Robinson, Hero, Martin, Vincent, those are your guards. 25 minutes. So except for Vincent and Hero, they're getting over 30.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, that'll do it for us. Appreciate you guys sticking with us for the last minute scramble here. For Joe, for David, this is FTN's NBA Live, and we will see you tomorrow.